Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Sunless Skies. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chosen to join me today here in Pan. Very lovely soundtrack, very lovely. Puts me in the mind of some of the soundtracks of Heroes of Might and Magic, but there's another game that it reminds me more of, and I don't remember. I want to say Daggerfall, but I don't actually remember exactly how Daggerfall's soundtrack goes. Anyway, we have a full world to explore. And we came from over there. We're in a good place. It's not really, actually, we're not really in that good of a place in terms of terror, but we can go up. Let's look at our so yeah, we need things, but we don't have those things. Not here in the bank or anything. We could look at our journal, but at this moment it's mostly just go into the world and discover all that is horrible. Let's do it. Let's, oh, we found things, the binding tables over there. Or over here, rather. I'm not really sure why I didn't find it before. We have a new thing over here that we knew about last episode, but I reloaded, so we didn't know about it. Because, you know, how... I don't think it crashed my ship there. A grizzled coterie of gardeners cares for this unusual orchard. The plants that grow here are heart catchers, whose fruit looks and speaks like human heads. That's not good. Can I not have human heads for fruit? The inner gardens are surrounded by a hedge as thick as a fortress wall, knotted with thorns and strangled with vines. Behind it are the grove homes of the heart catchers, steeped in Eleutheria's midnight and frequented only by by their favored servants. Within the Mimiricon? Mimiricon. Within the Mimiricon, which is where we are, the heart catchers are big as trees and clustered with mature heads. Each plant is a council of intellects debating the secrets of the sky. And I can seek entry. Will you be allowed into the garden? An arch in the edge leads inside. A dozen heads, gray-haired and bitter, peer from among the leaves. Begone, the heads insist. You have not been chosen. You have not served. As far as you can tell, the whole hedge is the body of one vast brambly heart catcher. It's like a grove. Then, yeah. As you turn to leave, one of its heads whispers something, and the others snigger. When you ask what was amusing, a hawk-nosed head apologizes. Sorry, we'll just never get used to how much your heads look like fruit. Don't you dare say those things to me. Let's go to the nurseries. A series of finely manicured indigo lawns cover this corner of Pan. A series... Oh yeah, that's that. Peculiar plants grow in the beds, tangled as rose bushes and budding with fruit. The fruit is lumpen. Perfectly formed facial features are growing on it. This one has a frantic, staring eye. This one is growing an ear. This one keens pitiably through tiny, trembling lips. Silent gardeners whose broad-brimmed hats are hung with veils to hide their faces tend devotedly to the plants. This one doesn't have a veil, though. So we can acquire a death? What? Acquire a crimson promise. Wait, what? No, that's not what I need. I need a momentous exploit. We do have more crimson promises, though. So it's fine. You are too close to the revolutionaries. So the heart catchers are another faction? This place is the place of factions. I love it. So I can whisper Eleutherian mysteries to the heart catchers to get otherworldly artifacts. But I don't want to. Because I might need the mysteries for repairing my ship. I'm gonna speak to a green-fingered old warhorse. Warhorse. Not werehorse. Warhorse. I'm gonna... To a horse. Yeah. What? I'm not speaking to a horse. I'm speaking to a person. He removes his hat. The face beneath is scarred and bleak. A soldier's face. I think Warhorse is like a nickname for somebody who works a lot or something. He must occupy a senior position, for the other gardeners nod their heads as they pass him. Beneath his overalls, he wears a rat-skin suit, ragged from the plant's playful thorns. There's a deadness to his gaze. I'm gonna learn about these peculiar plants. They are a species native to the heavens, he observes. Here in the nurseries, we help the younger specimens grow to maturity before transferring them to the inner gardens, the Mimyricon. He indicates some colleagues who are digging up the largest plant in the garden and wrestling it onto a cart while it tries affectionately to throttle them. You note its fruit, which are now big enough to, or it is now big enough to resemble the faces of bobbling cherubs. Bawling cherubs. The cherubs are the little babies that you find in a lot of Christian imagery and iconography, specifically, is the name that you give it. Iconography. It's for both statues and paintings and other stuff. But specifically, the cherubs are the ones without a body, because I want to say the ones with bodies are... Cupid is one of them, and whenever you see the descriptions of Cupid, you see that word a lot, because Cupid is not a cherub. A cherub is just the head of the baby, maybe with the... No, I think it doesn't even have arms, at least canonically. Anyway. Once fully grown, the warhorse continues, their fruit can reason and speak and debate more effectively than we even. Each plant is an entire council or faculty. I'm gonna ask him about himself. Judging from his military bearing, he was not always a gardener. No, once I was a soldier and a commander of soldiers. I was good at it, as such things are measured. Now I keep the gardens, tend the heart catchers, and pray that I have no further effect on the world at all. Another gardener passes you, carrying a bucket. Kneeling by a bed full of budding heart catchers, they tip the bucket over. The contents ooze readily onto the soil. That's worrying. I'm gonna ask about the petitioners. Is it the gardeners? Who's the petitioners? A number of desperate-looking people are lined at the hedgerow gate to the inner gardens. That's who they are, the petitioners. The heart catchers know many secrets, he says. Among them is a method to capture a death and seal it away so that it can't trouble you. If you fear a particular end, like drowning, say, or freezing, the heart catchers could hide it away. He takes a cage of squirming mice from his pocket, fishes one out, and drops it into the thorny vines of the closest plant. The vines constrict, the mouse squeaks, the plant shivers. I see no guarantee of immortality, of course. 1,000 deaths await in the skies. Oh. Okay, that's actually quite handy. I'm gonna ask about entering the inner garden. It's probably gonna get me killed, but... well... A hedge encloses it. An archway permits entrance, but is protected by a mature heart catcher whose cynical faces peer from the thicket. They excoriate. Oh yeah, I know that word. They excoriate intruders with insightful critique. Only friends of the heart catchers may enter the Mimyricon, and successful petitioners, of course. But the latter... Am I asking him this? I am asking him this. But the latter are blindfolded. Perhaps if you performed a service to the hat catchers, they would warm to you. I can't do that, though. Can I? Maybe by doing this? Excuse me. Because I'm whispering mysteries to the heart catchers. How many? The young plants require more than meat and bone meal. Their minds, too, must be nourished. Okay, I lost 2 of them. That's bad. That's pretty bad. The green-fingered old warhorse leads you to a frail-looking heart-catcher whose leaves are so thin as to be translucent. You find a pale fruit that bears a delicate ear and whisper your mysteries to it. It listens closely. As thanks, the old warhorse gives you an obtuse artifact. We find them while turning the soil, he says. Its function is inscrutable, but the designs engraved on it show the Eleutherian sky occupied by 2 suns. Well, I did that. Maybe I don't want to do that again. Perhaps not. I'll see you later. I guess it's all to do with the just being part of their faction. That's probably where it is. And the Heartcatcher Gardens, we found it as well. Lots of arches, and we have something up ahead. Well, I'm just going, right? We're just going. What is that? That looks special. I don't think it is. It is, I mean, it is special because it looks awesome. But that's... Ooh. Your scout returns. What has it found? Well, something that isn't a question mark. That's something that it found. I can scoop that for a little bit of extra resources. Even though I lost resources but for doing that. Which is an interesting thing. Your scout complains about the cold. It found nothing. Well, I can only sympathize with the cold. I hate it. Please, please, just don't be cold. Or hot. You hear the hateful wail of a scribe spinster. It has come to scraps you... It has come for the scraps you plundered from their library. Question mark. I want to plunder more scraps. I need those. We got something up ahead. And we found Perturbia. Lovely name. Let's get the L key ready. Just in case. Cantankeri. I didn't expect that. Are you not gonna mind me? That's really cute. Thank you, little Cantankeri. You're so nice to me. Send the bat out again. I hear cannons on the west, which might be good. Got something else to the southwest. This is just an enormous expanse. Ooh, did you see? Did you see? Oh no, I don't want that. What the heck's that? Something ghastly. Yes. Extinguishments plague Eleutheria. Eruptions of clotted night. That's a place we can visit. I think. And also, I'm pretty sure... Oh, yeah, I see that. What the heck's that? We haven't seen that. Why? Why? It crashed. Am I crashing? Nope. A distant grumbling. This place is home to a disgruntlement of Cantankeri. Was that supposed to be a Cantankeri? I don't like that. Can we not have that again? This is lovely, though. Look at the background. We have learned from your experiences. I leveled up and I found Caduceus and a new port. Yes. I thought it was going to be a description of Caduceus. And... Oh, no. Good. And we lowered our terror, which is pretty good. Okay, I just looked at what Caduceus... Is that blood or is that flowers? Because I don't know about that. I don't like it. What was I gonna level up? I forget what I was gonna level up. I remember it was something to do with somebody that I had lost. So I think it's hearts. Is it hearts? No. Excuse me. Was it mirrors? Yeah, probably mirrors and hearts if I can. Let's go with that. Let's see what we have over here. So which one is mirrors again? Well, it's easy. It's that one. We have no mirrors and hearts. Okay, we have mirrors over there and mirrors over here. Both of them are punchy. Not really my cup of tea. Not really what I'm looking for. So let's try and go for that, if I can. I also don't have that. Lovely. I do have hearts. A mentor. You know what? Let's go for a metamorphosis. That sounds like a thing that I've gone through already. You could no longer be the person you were told to be. Your old life would have grown you beneath it. Ground you beneath it. You had to change. But was the change slow or sudden? Well, it's going to be the one, it's a blank slate. Ooh. In order to become what you needed to be, you abandoned your old life. You cast it aside as a snake must shed its skin. That sounds lovely for our character. And we are now that. And a little bit of extra hearts, as you expect. A temple at the top of a mountain reached by a long pilgrim road. Inside it, statues of devils bearing instruments march towards a throne. The smell of rose or of roses lingers. We have gourd of chorister nectar. Unfortunately, none of the things that I need. I mean, I suppose I could take one of those, but I don't really need it. One of the supplies, I mean. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. Anyway, the place of the rose, a temple, garlanded with incarnadine. Those are just red. That's probably a different color, but it's red. Because it comes from the word meat in Latin. It means the color of meat. Incarnadine flowers and wreathed with thorns sits at the apex of Caduceus. Oh, that's the one. Okay. It is drowsy with the scent of roses, though you can see none. Poets, artists, and musicians lounge in groups on the marble floor. A woman crowned with thorns sits on a white throne. She drums her fingers on the arm of the throne, I assume. But that is not a crown of thorns. That's a crown of laurels? I believe that is laurels. Is that the English word? Anyway, it's an old Roman tradition, and that's, where it comes from. And I'm pretty sure that's the English word laurels for, receiving the laurels for something is specifically in reference to that, and I'm not sure if it's a different word and just a derivation or whatever. So I can descend to the caverns. Beneath the temple, the mountain on which Caduceus rests is tunneled through with caves. A drumbeat, slow but steady, sounds from below. So I can investigate the temple over here, or I can talk to the Thorn-Maiden. I suppose that's her. I imagine. From her throne, she watches all. And you unlock this by not having any cold, which is I do have cold. I am cold. Have cold? That's not how it's said in English. In Portuguese, it is. It's kind of funny, now that I think about it. You don't say, like, I'm cold. You say, I have cold. And not, I have a cold. That's a different thing. But it's kind of, yeah. So the pun doesn't work. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm cold and I have no cold. Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. Her crown is thorned, her stave coiled with snakes. Her eyes are quiet as an ox's. As you approach, she raises a hand, bedecked with rings of white sapphires. Whether she is bidding you approach or refrain is unclear. The Thorn-Maiden considers you, and then approximates a smile. Her fingers still tap against the marble arm of her throne, in time with the drum from below. How may I serve? She asks. Her voice resonates like beaten bronze. I can ask about what is going on here. That's curious. What does that require? You must not participate in the rites, but learn some of their mysteries. Well, if anyone knows this place, it's her. I'm going to ask about Caduceus. Her voice is without any effect. The intonation is hollow. I found Caduceus not long after I arrived in Eleutheria. I was frustrated with the methodologies of Winter's Reside. Where was the poetry? Where the beauty in all the horror? Her fingertips dance as she speaks. The devils were here before me. They were wearing those masks when I arrived. This temple was once something else, something important to them. They reclaimed it, though for a new purpose. She trails off, having lost interest in your inquiry. She seems restless. Is she bored? How is she? I'm gonna ask. Her eyes widen. Is it obvious? Her tone doesn't change. The waiting between rites becomes more intolerable. All these people, she gestures, her bracelets are set, jangling, venerating me, but all they care for are the roses. I am a link in the chain, not the pearl in the crown. She sighs and looks away. Well, I'll leave her alone. I've heard enough. There are other diversions here. Are there? There's the caverns. I don't want to. Maybe I do. Investigate the temple. What is Caduceus? Let's see what Caduceus is. The temple at the top of the mountain. Marble statues of devils line the aisles. They have wreaths over their horns. Their lips are daubed scarlet as sin. Their eyes are the colors of ash and sunlight. The detail is breathtaking. Their lyres and lutes, flutes and fiddles. drums and dulcimers. Dulcimers? I don't know what that means. I suppose that it comes from the word for sweet, the Latin word for sweet. But myrrh, I don't know what that is, are so perfectly carved that but for the material, they could be real. Frescoes depict a trope of musicians marching towards a slender mirror. Pipers, flautists, drummers, all statues of serpents coil over the musicians. Thorn bushes bereft of roses encircle the chamber. The plants are tended by devils in crimson masks. These devils are the rose-binders of Caduceus. Within the space bounded by the bushes, the bohemians make their art, all of it on the subject of roses. Let's descend to the caverns beneath the temple. The mountain on which Caduceus rests is tunneled with the caves, and there's a drum beat underneath. Underneath the dome of Caduceus is a warren of caverns, a labyrinth of caves walled with slabs of volcanic black glass, burrow their way through the rock. Burrows its way through the rock. It's a labyrinth that burrows its way through the rock. A steady drum beat thrums through the walls, echoing from somewhere deeper. I can follow the drum beat or go back. Well, I want to go back, so let's follow the rose-binders. 2 rose-binders, a devil and a deviless, wait in the main cavern, their eyes like coals in the dark. The deviless beckons you to follow her. You are led down darkly gleaming passages, heading deeper under the main temple of Caduceus. The devil walks at your side. He occasionally uses his thyrsus to strike the ground. A thyrsus, I believe, is a trihorn? Or a trident? Or like a trident? Maybe? I'm trying to understand what it is. I don't know what it is. As if testing the depth of your descent. You emerge into a cavern lit by moonlight, or not moonlight, moonish light, pouring through a crack in the roof. A broken temple stands before a pool of dark water. The deviless bids you to kneel by the pool and drink. This text in particular is very hard to read ad-libbing, but I imagine this is the sort of text at least for me, I'm not necessarily a slow reader in the sense that I can't read fast, but I like reading slow. And if you like reading slow, this is just the sort of text that I like reading. But since I'm speaking out loud, sometimes I like, for example, Moonish Light. It's not the first time. You can see that I am struggling with some of the sentence orders and whatnot. Moonish Light, there's a lot of like unexpected turns of phrase. And Moonish Light, because when I'm reading, you emerge into a cavern. When I'm saying this, I'm already looking ahead to prepare for what I'm about to say. And so I do that about 50% of the time. And for this text, I can do that. It's just that it creates bugs like that, and I say the wrong word, and it's a bug in my speech. Drink deeply. I'm sure it's not going to be a problem at all. The water is clear. What do I need over here? Oh, not having any cold. I guess I'll have some cold. The water is clear, reflecting only the pale rays of light and the thorned masks of the rose-binders. As you kneel, the deviless places a red cloth around your eyes. The devil touches your forehead with the thyrsus as he pushes you towards the water. You feel the water lapping against your chin, your mouth, your tongue. It tastes rich as wine, velvet, smooth and wild. The drum beat here, with your ear pressed against the rock, is louder. It grows louder still, insistent and incessant. The cavern vibrates with it. The deviless pulls you from the water. The drummer deems you worthy, she smiles, bright as a new moon. You may participate in the mysteries of our arboreum. The drummer? Now I'm curious. Let's follow the beating of the drums. The sound is steady, like the pulsing of a heart. Following the sound leads you in what feels like circles. You travel between cave after cave, the tunnels narrowing like a throat as you go deeper. The drums sound on, a steady funerary beat. You are forced to cleave to a wall, slick with dripping condensation, for the tunnel here has the width of a wicked king's spine. As you do, the drums cease for a moment, and you hear a sound like a finger tapping on glass. When you emerge from the thin cave, you find yourself in the large, wide cavern where you began. What? Did I fail that? I don't think so. We have lingered too long in the dark. Let's go back. Back to the marble and the frescoes and the devils in rose masks. Back to the place where the roses do not fall. Oh. And now I can write a port report as well. Why couldn't I before? Unlock this by not having any lightness and by not having any cold. I wonder what that is. But also, I'm admitted into the mysteries of Caduceus, so that's pretty important actually. And I have a lot of things to do. Let's write a port report. Would anyone take an interest in this languorous idyll? There are said to be mysteries to Caduceus. An isolated temple, approached by a winding pilgrim road. Roses fall about the ruins on the temple approach, but none within the temple walls. Here, devils in rose masks tend flowerless shrubs. Poets and musicians write rhapsodies on roses that never appear. A woman, known as the Thorn-Maiden, presides over it all, while in the caverns below the temple, drums sound in the dark. Poets whisper to you of rites performed by the Thorn-Maiden, of sunlight somehow brought into Eleutheria, of revels done when the roses fall. Well, I guess this place is, I don't know if it's a metaphor or it's very evocative. I'm not, it's a little bit inscrutable as well, but definitely very evocative, this place. But we're out of time for the day, so that's going to be that for right now. I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Sunless Skies. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.